Welcome to The Explainer. So today, we're diving into something pretty cool, a new guide that's all about unlocking the next generation of AI. And look, it's not just about what this AI can do, it's about how we have to change the way we talk to it. We're going to look at what it really takes to master this whole new way of thinking about AI. So, what if AI could not just answer you, but actually act for you? That's the big question here. We're not just talking about smarter chatbots anymore. The real frontier, the next big thing, is an AI that's more of an agent. Something that you can give a really complex goal to, and it just goes off and does all the steps to get it done, all on its own. Okay, so what's the big deal? What actually makes this new model different? Well, it's all about this huge leap in what's being called agentic performance. And that's just a fancy way of saying it's not just smarter on paper, it's way, way more capable of actually doing stuff in the real world. I mean, look at this. The improvements are everywhere. Yeah, sure, a big boost in raw intelligence and coding, that's massive. But honestly, the two things you really need to focus on are at the top and the bottom here. First, its ability to actually perform complex tasks, to use tools. And second, our ability to steer it, to control its behavior with incredible precision. You put those two things together, that's the game changer. So, learning how to use this new AI, it's not really about just asking a question anymore. It's more like learning to conduct an orchestra or maybe fly a really high-tech drone. It's all about finding that perfect balance and giving it super clear directions. And right at the core of all this is a new idea called agentic eagerness. The best way to think about it is like a dial that controls how proactive the AI is. You can crank it way up, and you get this autonomous partner that's always pushing things forward. Or you can dial it way down for a super cautious assistant that won't do a thing until you say so. And this is where it gets really interesting. Just look at the difference here. It's night and day. On one side, use a few simple phrases like, say, use a maximum of 2 tool calls, and boom, you've got a fast, cautious assistant. But on the other side, you tell it, never stop when you encounter uncertainty, and suddenly you have this persistent, totally autonomous partner. I mean, it's the same AI underneath, but it has 2 completely different personalities. And you control it, just with your words. Okay, that's the theory. But how does this actually work in the real world? Well, let's check out a great example from the AI code editor, Cursor. They were one of the first to test this new model, so they had to figure out, on the fly, how to handle this powerful new AI personality in a super demanding coding environment. So Cursor immediately hit a classic problem. The AI's little text updates, way too chatty, super distracting. But its actual code, it was way too brief, almost impossible to read. Their solution, though, was really smart. First, they used a global setting to just turn the verbosity way down for everything, to make the text updates nice and short. But then, they added a specific instruction in the prompt that basically said, hey, ignore that last rule, but only for code. For code, I want high verbosity. And this right here was the magic bullet. This one little instruction, aimed just at the code, completely changed how the AI behaved. By telling it to avoid code golf, that super clever, dense code that's impossible for anyone else to read, it went from being a confusing show-off to a genuinely helpful teammate. The AI became a much, much better coding partner. This whole thing leads us to a really, really important point. With an AI that follows your instructions so precisely, being clear isn't just a good idea, it's everything. It's your most important tool, and that's an amazing power to have. Unless, of course, you accidentally tell it to do 2 opposite things at once. Just look at this prompt. It's for a medical scheduling assistant, and at first glance, it seems totally fine, but there's a huge conflict buried in there. The first rule is crystal clear. Never schedule an appointment without explicit patient consent. Okay, makes sense. But then, the second rule says, for urgent cases, auto-assign the earliest same-day slot without contacting the patient. See the problem? It's telling the AI to do 2 contradictory things. And here's where it gets wild. An older AI, a less precise one, it might have just ignored one of the rules, or maybe just taken a guess at what you really meant. But this new AI, It's smart enough to actually see the logical contradiction. It knows the instructions are impossible. So instead of acting, it just gets stuck, wasting time and energy trying to solve a puzzle that has no solution. Now, the fix is actually pretty simple once you see the problem. You just have to clarify the consent part and create a really clear exception for emergencies. But what's so fascinating here is that the process of making the AI prompt better actually exposed a hidden flaw in the whole system's logic. By making the instructions clearer for the machine, they made the whole process safer and better for the people. It just goes to show you, clarity is king.
Okay, so we've seen how we can direct this AI, how we can tune it with incredible precision. But get ready, because this next idea is probably the most futuristic, mind-bending concept in the whole guide.
What if you could ask the AI to help you talk to the AI? It sounds a little weird, right? But this is a real technique, and it's called metaprompting. You're basically turning the AI's own intelligence back on itself. You're using its own powerful brain to help you write better instructions for it.
Just look at this template. It is absolutely incredible. You can literally give the AI a prompt that's failing. You tell it, okay, here's what I wanted you to do, and here's what you're actually doing instead. And then you just ask it, what's the best way to fix my prompt to get the right behavior? The AI literally becomes your partner in telling it what to do.
So, what does all this mean? It points to this huge shift in how we need to think about our role. As these AI models get more and more powerful, more agentic, our most important skill isn't just using them anymore. It's instructing them with perfect clarity, with real intent. We're not just users. We're becoming teachers, tuners, collaborators. And that leaves us with one last big question to chew on. If we teach an AI to improve its own instructions, who is learning faster?